Yeah, so I'm going to run down the stuff. You just saw my last slide there, which was kind of silly. This is something that I do every month at the garage. So I'm just running down kind of what's going on at the top end of Facebook. I'd love to be saying that my app is up there, but as you'll find out later on, it's the stuff that I do is not quite, but still. So this is just a slide about something that I reported a few months ago, but in case you're not up to speed on this, the way that Facebook reports and counts active users changed. I think this was last October maybe. I was really surprised by it, as you can see in my comment there. And basically they shifted from counting people that visit apps to just the people that actually authenticate them, that actually click the yes box. So that kind of changed the way that they were counting numbers and affected things, but now we're kind of used to those numbers. The numbers are lower, but that's okay. So these are the top 10 most popular Facebook apps based on their monthly active users. So as you can see, the top 2 are very similar, and they are kind of really standard things that allow people who aren't very good with coding and servers and stuff to host whatever content they want within their Facebook page by having an iframe, which is kind of the simplest way that Facebook lets you do apps. So they are obviously very popular. We also have some of the Zynga games. Cityville's in there, and further down the list, Castleville and Farmville. And Texas Hold'em Poker is always up here in the charts, and that does very well as well. Band Page by Root Music allows bands to put up their content. We have a new app in the chart that we haven't seen before, which is Hidden Chronicles. It's a puzzle game. I was hoping it would be by some new developer, but in fact it's by Zynga, who make the Farmville and the Cityville and the Castleville games. But at least they didn't call it Hiddenville or something. They finally realised they are allowed to use different names. And we have one of quite a lot of kind of calendar birthday type apps, which is doing very well. Microsoft are down there at number 10 with their kind of Bing application. They only have 2 apps, and one of them is there. And then these are a similar kind of set of numbers, but this is ranked by daily active users. So the other Microsoft app that they have is Microsoft Live, or Windows Messenger, or MSN as we used to call it back in the day. That has a lot of daily active users because people sign into it every day and then access their Facebook information through it. Words with Friends, who plays Words with Friends? Anyone? Scrabble game. It's popular on mobile phones. You can also access it on Facebook, so and obviously challenge all your friends, and that's kind of really good daily active user numbers. Cityville, Castleville, Hidden Chronicles, Poker, we've discussed those. It's good to see that Spotify is actually showing up on one of these charts. So they're getting, I think it's 5.1 million active users, million daily active users, which is pretty good. Like 5 million people every day are using Spotify linked to their Facebook. So that's quite a good number. And then we have HD Sense, which allows people with HTC phones to kind of check their Facebook newsfeed, and Bubble Witch Saga, which is another game. These are the most regularly used, so this is dividing the daily active users by the monthly active users to kind of see which, if you ignore the actual numbers, which ones have like really high engagement. So Nook, which is kind of reader device that you can get in America by Barnes & Noble, that has very high Facebook engagement. There's a Chinese app, which I think translated to My Valentine's Lyrics. Obviously topical with Valentine's this week, that's ranking high. Orange, who make mobile phones, or I should say Badge mobile phones, they have their app in there. There was one called Phone, and I couldn't figure out whose it was, and it was just called Phone, so I'm guessing it's a similar thing. That has very high engagement. We've got an iPad app that lets you access Facebook newsfeed, horoscopes, 20 Feet, which is really good Facebook and Twitter stats kind of reporting. I highly recommend it. That has a lot of engagement because it's checking your stats every day. There's a quotes thing, a Spanish Valentine's thing, and a number 10, an Italian love tips. Obviously lots of people on Facebook this week of all weeks, they didn't know what to do in regards to love, so they log on to this app and it gives them tips. These are the hottest in terms of, normally this chart would be the ones that have gained the most monthlies or dailies in the last day, but for some reason when I went on to appdata.com earlier this evening to get the numbers, the very latest numbers, they weren't kind of coming up in any sensible amount, so I've ignored those and instead we're using the weekly numbers. So these are the ones that have gained the most in the last week. Based on daily active users. So birthday calendar is in there. We've got greeting cards, and we've got birthday cards, and we've got my calendar birthdays. Can you see a theme here? If you want to develop a really successful Facebook app, it should involve birthday cards. We've also got 21 questions, which was one of those kind of quiz things. Yahoo, who knows what Yahoo stands for? It's an acronym. Did nobody know that? I'm old. Oh God, I am old, aren't I? Yahoo stands for Yet Another Hit-Orientated Oracle, because at the time it was just one of many sites that would rank other sites based on how many hits they got. So hence Yahoo is an oracle, and it's in terms of Facebook, it's up here in the chart. Pinterest, has everyone been signing up for that recently? Every day I get 3 or 4 notifications that friends are doing it. It's very hot at the moment, so Pinterest is getting a lot of through Facebook. It's going really viral. We've also got a Chinese game called My Kingdom, which is a farm thing. So that's Farmville basically. And Between You and Me is a dating app, and then we've got Bing as well. These are the top 10 developers. So Zynga is still kind of ruling the roost, as they have been for a very long time. And if you look on our Facebook developer group, I posted, I think, an article yesterday about how they now actually officially publicised have a kind of special relationship with Facebook. So they do get access to certain things that we, the other developers, don't, which is interesting because that wasn't really known before. We've got the guys behind the Static HTML app, and we've got various others in there. Yahoo and their acquisition of 722 apps have still get them about 30 odd million monthly active users. And then you've got more going down. Now we come to the pages, the brand pages on Facebook, and would you believe it, the most popular thing on Facebook is Facebook. It's gained about 3 million likes in the last month, so it's up to about 61 or 62. Texas Hold'em Poker, which you saw before, is doing very well. This chart is almost exactly the same, but with one small exception, which is the 10th one, which is Harry Potter this month. That has pushed out to number 11, Justin Bieber. He's gone. He's out of the top 10. I'm so pleased. To be replaced by someone who's probably just the same, Harry Potter. But, it's kind of progress. Like I say, the rest are the same, and this sneaky little one at the bottom is something that I look after, which is a BBC Two TV show, and we have like 2 million fans or something, so very tiny in regards to those, but still quite big in general. These are the hottest ones, so these are the ones that have gained the most likes yesterday. Adele, who was all over the Grammy Awards on Sunday night, which was shown again on Monday night on TV here. She's London, she's the hottest thing on Facebook right now, that's pretty cool. Resident Evil, which is a console game, is doing very well. That new release Titanic, which is, I think it came out about 15 years ago, that is, for some reason, gaining lots of fans on Facebook. Sorry? It's been re-released in 3D. Ah, of course it has, yes, that's exactly right. It has been re-released in 3D, so that would explain that. Anyone heard of Angry Birds? Kind of little game. They actually, I think the other day they released it on Facebook, so you can now play it on Facebook. And in terms of its fan page, that has gained a lot of fans. There's an Arabian TV channel, NBC2, that's doing very well. You may have heard about Whitney Houston passing away at the weekend, and suddenly she's very popular, which is kind of how things work on the online world. There's I think he's an Italian singer, or I might have that wrong, who's doing well. And we've got an Argentinian football player, Intel, who make chips and who used to sponsor our events, Facebook Garage. No, not at all. They're doing very well. And Facebook itself is gaining quite a lot of fans. What's that, 80,000 they gained yesterday, which is pretty good. And then I would normally love to run you down the coldest pages, the ones that are losing the most fans, but that data doesn't seem to be available anymore, certainly not from appdata.com, so that's just a random example of how it was 9 months ago. And that is about that. We kind of have time for questions. I don't know if there are any. Otherwise, thanks very much.
Thanks, Dave. Do we have any questions out there? One thing I thought I would just mention is one of the apps up there was Pinterest, right? Which I'm pretty sure is a timeline app. On that link I gave earlier in the evening with the 60 plus apps, Facebook wrote a little bit about the stats from some of these companies developing timeline apps and the increase in number of users. I think Pinterest was something like 60% increase in users since they launched their timeline app. Definitely the time to start thinking about those kinds of apps. Any other questions out there? All right, cool. Thanks, Dave.
Cheers.